two of the highest scoring teams in the comp head-to-head on the northern beaches on an ideal Sunday afternoon. A game to look forward to here. The Canberra Raiders with revenge on their minds after losing at home in that Golden Point encounter in round 8. They are 6-6. 9th on the ladder. Knocked out of the top 8 by Parramatta's win on Friday night. They look to rebound tonight. They can jump ahead of the Eels and Manly if they get the 2 points here this afternoon. And they welcome Josh Papali back from his Origin exertions.
He's very strong, and he's been one of their most consistent. Josh Papali and Jordan Rapana. Well, he's arguably the best player in the game at the moment and has been for the opening 12 rounds. So many times he's scored some remarkable tries for the Raiders and got them out of trouble as Manly make their way out of the sheds.
Yep, they are 6-5. They used to call this place Fortress Brookvale, but this season, just 1 win from 5 home games at this venue. Can they turn that record around this afternoon and leapfrog the Cowboys into 6th place? They welcome back Jake Trbojevic from a first-up win as a Blue.
And how good was he? Jake Trbojevic. Been so good all year, such an important part of this team. I mentioned it pre-game. At crucial times of the match, he has really stood up and made the difference. And they missed the start last time these two teams met in round 8. I don't think they'll fall under the same mistake. They completed at 91%, which got them back into the game. So I think they'll try to go about that disciplined way, Manly.
And look out for the niggle in this one. Plenty of verbal last time they met in round 8. Dylan Walker, he kicked the penalty to win it after Josh Hodgson got in his face. See whether they go head-to-head early in this one. And it all came about because Walker said to Elliot Whitehead, "You just cost your team the game," when he made a mistake that led to the try, which Manly levelled things with.
Just keep behind it.
Manly kicked things off against the Raiders on a Sunday afternoon, and Junior Paulo brings it back to almost the 20. Mentioned in Origin dispatches in recent weeks, this man played for Queensland, Papali, and he's driven back inside the 20. Hodgson into dummy half, and Shannon Boyd played 4 times for Australia but couldn't crack the Blues team. Now Soliola. He played on an edge last week. Back in the middle this afternoon as Boyd gets a second hit up on the opening set, and good safe stuff from Canberra up over halfway. Hodgson to kick out of dummy half, gets the slice going on it, and Georgie Tafua forced to play at it and just stays in.
Well, the thick grass here at Brookvale Oval just slowed that kick up from Josh Hodgson. Good set from the Raiders. Shannon Boyd just rumbling the ball forward a couple of times. Oh, I'll be fascinated to watch this battle in the middle. Brenton Lawrence and Marty Tapau have been in terrific form, and they're up against the 2 biggest front rowers in the game in Paulo and Boyd.
Here's Marty Tapau. Hasn't he been in form? Leads the comp in offloads. Average metres a game, 155. That's 3rd best in the NRL. Great scoot out of dummy half from Coruscant. Now on the last, they come to Blake Green. On to Cherry Evans. They're going to go through the hands for Walker. He's forced to put a kick in, and a pretty handy one that finds touch. 5 out.
And a great set there from Manly. You could see, I think, Hodgson, the elbow caught Shannon Boyd in the eye. He stayed down for a while, but what a great set. And Canberra, they are vulnerable at certain stages throughout the match, in behind the ruck. And look at Coruscant, he sensed it straight away. It was actually a head clash. And there it is, but what a reply from Manly.
Oh, that was nasty, wasn't it? Coruscant, who does have a habit of ducking under players, and sometimes it can get him through the defensive line, but those 2 clashing heads.
You wouldn't think Boyd had come off second best with Hodgson, but he did. So the Raiders have to work their way out. Thought they might have caught Manly offside there as Paulo rumbles his way to 15 out. And here's Rapana. Early hit up from the winger. And of course, Ricky Stewart has put the referees under pressure this week by getting vocal about how teams are cheating in the ruck against his team and containing the likes of Rapana out of dummy half.
Yeah, he's not happy with the markers and the fact that they're not square. That's Ricky's interpretation of it.
Tony Archer, the referee's boss, commented on it, said, "We will penalise if there are infringements," as Boyd goes tumbling over Coruscant. An awkward fall for the big man.
I think it was more a leg problem than a head, and he's limping. It is a leg issue with Boyd.
Brought back by Matty Wright. Deputising for Tom Trebojevic, and an early mistake, but it was stripped out.
I think you'll find that was Coruscant's shoulder straight into Shannon Boyd's legs.
He's a great low tackler, Coruscant. He's a great low tackler.
The first 3 minutes are anything to go by. This line speed from the Manly Seagulls is outstanding. You saw Marty Tapau get up in the face, and there's Coruscant. His shoulder straight into the thigh of Shannon Boyd.
They've called it a head knock, have they?
They're going to use it as an HIA opportunity.
Well, you can't when you're grabbing your quad.
When you're limping off. You're serious. Mate,
he did go past the horizontal and landed.
Yeah, unless they're going back to the head clash.
As well, that's an excuse, yeah.
He did stay down for a while after the head clash with Hodgson.
Yeah, yep.
Probably should have got him off then, and Brandy would have been happier. Stepping up to the tackle down low by Coruscant.
The head clash slipped my mind.
So they shift it to Lawrence on the opening hit-up in his early 30s, but still dreaming of playing for Queensland and making an Origin debut. Ian Tapau leading from the front for Manly. Somehow he maintained his feet, Marty Tapau, and got to play the ball away. The home fans irate. But no penalty came after all that work in the ruck. Now Green. Back inside is Lawrence, an important tackle made down low by Soliola. Now Green showing it. And he's taken 5 out right in front of the sticks. Cherry Evans cut out pass. Dylan Walker around Croker. And the man who had the final say last time they met scores the opening try this time around. Dylan Walker. Outstanding, and what about the pass from DCE to get him on the outside?
What a pass it was. That was special. As a centre, there is nothing better than if your half can put the ball in the exact right spot at the exact right time. And this is what DCE has done. Look at that. The moment Dylan Walker steps off his left foot, goes to the outside, DCE puts that ball in the perfect position. Jared Croker just beat it all ends up because it's in the one movement. He was watching the football, and then before he knew it, it was gone. Dylan Walker. Wow, DCE, that was special, Brandy.
Now, they've mixed things up nicely, haven't they? With their attack, it was Blake Green with an inside ball to Brenton Lawrence, and then Blake Green had to dig into the line himself, and that left Daly, Cherry Evans and Dylan Walker down this right side. And Jared Croker had eyes for Dylan Walker and could only watch the ball float across his face as Dylan Walker shifted onto his outside. It was a great play. Good ball from Coruscant too, from dummy half. Nice and flat and quick. That's been an energetic start by the Seagulls in defence, and they've backed it up with some smart work with the ball.
And the Raiders can't get verbal with Walker as he looks to line up the conversion because Matty Wright has taken over. And when you look at career percentages, this is a good choice from Trent Barrett, you'd reckon, as Wright just strokes it over. 6-0 to Manly. Andy Raymond.
Interesting to hear you boys talk about Ricky Stewart's post-game press conference last week and making note of opposing markers not standing square forward. Thinking by Ricky, the 2 clubs that have got away with it against the Raiders, the Bulldogs and this mob, the Manly Seagulls. Why do they do it? Canberra have more dummy half runs than anyone else in the competition through Josh Hodgson.
And Manly concede the least run meters of any team in the comp. They do it so very well, but now they make an unfathomable mistake from Brendan Lawrence, who just took his eye off it, and Canberra have a wonderful opportunity to hit straight back.
Well, can you feel any worse as a footballer? Can you feel any lower than what Brendan Lawrence would be feeling right now? Just lifted his head at the wrong time as Cherry Evans threw the pass, and an opportunity here for Canberra to strike back immediately.
They've got plenty spread out to that right-hand side. Paulo on to Blake Austin, who shows it, and he tries to go straight through. An important tackle made by Lawrence. He tries to atone for his mistake, and they give away the penalty on the first tackle. Austin was wary of what DCE might produce tonight after Cherry Evans missed out on selection for Queensland. He's already shown that he's up and about DCE, and Austin nearly responded. Now Hodgson, flat pass. They're okay with it to Whitehead on that right edge. Now another flat pass for Dynamis Louis, only out there this early because of Boyd's HIA, and he commits the mistake this time.
Gee, Elliott Whitehead hit that line then, and I thought he's going to end up in the in-goal area. He ran that hard onto that football. The defence needed to be rock solid, and it was. And then that was from Winterstein, the earlier tackle on Whitehead, and then he's opposite Curtis Sirenen comes up with a save on Dynamis Louis and forces the error.
I think this is an opportunity for the Raiders to be a little bit smarter too. Whilst they are a big pack and they can generally play through the middle, I'd like to see them from the back of their field stay at Manly's right edge. By that I mean stay down the short side, go at Dylan Walker, go at Daly Cherry Evans. They'll concede metres easily, particularly then. Jack Whiten had a nice play set up here on the left and they couldn't get it out to him. Shot clock went.
Now Georgie Tafua. They call held, and he pops it out, and Canberra is saying, you've bailed him out there.
Well, it's been a messy few minutes, hasn't it? That was the shot clock too, Gaz. So
Tafua was able to play it, and Manly out of their own red zone. Here's Kelly, one of those vying for the Rookie of the Year prize. Nick Kotrick, another. We see two of those contenders this afternoon. Jaden Brayley, another one from the Sharks. Tapau plants the ball early. And now Green kicking. Across comes White. Uwate, what a chase. And he upends the fullback, who tries to go again, and eventually the held call comes.
Well, Dynamis Louis, as that was happening, Dynamis Louis has just slipped on his foot and clutching at his knee, and he's already signalled to the sideline that he's gone.
Yeah, he's been walking from the field right now. Joseph Tarpany is already grabbing the card and heading onto the field. These opening two injuries to Ricky Stewart, a significant shift in his pre-planned interchange.
Yeah, not the return to Manly that Dynamis Louis was after. Spent a couple of seasons with the Sea Eagles. Made that mistake a moment ago, and now forced up the tunnel with an injury concern. So Soliola takes the Raiders up to halfway on the last. Austin looking to get the torpedo going, and that is a massive kick. Right, how casual was he? He made it look easy.
How good did he do that? Matthew Wright. No hurry to get across there. He knew exactly where the ball was coming down, and that's pretty clever to be able to do that, because you're right, Speedy, it was a towering torpedo bomb. Manly with the penalty.
And Matty Wright, he came in for Tom Trebojevic. Everyone was saying, what are Manly going to lose in that Titans game? He was outstanding in that one and made a solid start again.
Yeah, he's a consistent performer, Matt Wright, and it doesn't matter where he plays. He can play fullback, centre, wing. He's done a job for Manly in the past, and while Trebojevic is a big loss, they handled it last week against the Titans, and good start from the number one this afternoon.
Here's Sirenen. up to the 40. So good field position again for the home team as DCE shifts it out to Green, and they pick up Winterstein back on the inside, the former Australian Sevens rugby player. Didn't quite make it to Rio last year for the Olympics, though. Cherry Evans again. Flat pass for Siren, who wasn't expecting it. Came off a Canberra hand in there, but they're OK with it. Play on for the Raiders. And they'll welcome that turnover. They nearly commit another one. Sloppy stuff, but Soliola keeps it alive for Whitehead, but they're a little out of sync. Now Leilua. The markers couldn't stop him that time, and he picks up an easy 10. Trebojevic with a second effort over the top. And Rapana gets out a dummy half. They're over halfway. Leipana. It's all them at the moment, and Leilua picks up 20 that time. So Ricky Stewart's chat may have had the desired effects as Austin goes low and Uarte well positioned. But he's picked off 5 out. Good chase.
Well, we just got a good example, and Uarte comes up with a drop. They're going to get the penalty. And just back to the dummy half running from the Canberra Raiders. And Jordan Rapana, not only does he pick up metres, but he drags 3 or 4 defenders in. If he can get a quick play the ball, as he did for his mate Leilua, that's when they're dangerous.
So it's 4 penalties to 1 now for Manly as we see the dislocated finger sorted out. Always a queasy looking incident.
Yeah, that's Marty Tapau there. Bit of a finger problem. You can see he's getting those fingers put back in.
Oh. Look away if you've got a weak stomach enjoying your Sunday lunch. Tafua. So Canberra's discipline a problem early in this one, giving away all those penalties. Cherry Evans through the hands to right. Showed it to Walker back on the inside. Now, Fanua Blake, some fresh legs. And he ran for plenty against the Titans. He was outstanding off the bench a fortnight ago. Not a bad-looking kick across the face. Eventually tidied up by Austin, who's trying to work his way out, and he can't do so. They came and eventually hemmed him in.
That's such a hard kick to go back across the ruck. I don't know how Cherry Evans threaded the needle then, because there was Canberra players in his own everywhere. Austin did well to scoop the ball up and almost got himself back in the field of play. There's 4 or 5 Manly defenders there to drag him back in.
There's Shannon Boyd back on the bench. Looks like he's ready to go. I'd like to see Manly have a nice set play out to the left side. They've come to the right a couple of times. The left edge of the Canberra Raiders defensively is a lot better than the right.
And Gaz, yeah, Shannon Boyd is right to go. Still got another 3 minutes before he's required to be back onto the field. News isn't so good for Dynamis Louis. Looks like he's done his knee, and the initial thoughts are he won't be back.
Shame for him and the Raiders. Here's Coruscant. Big line out to the right once more. Green set it up for Kelly. Good tackle made down low by Soliola again. He's come up with some crucial tackles so far. Stretching for it was Green. Kicking early on the count. Can Rapana get out? He can. He got rid of Matty Ryan on the initial chase.
And I don't think the kick was the right option there. Daly Cherry Evans did a beautiful job. He was on the right-hand side. And when Kelly got tackled, he swung all the way around to the left, hoping to get a 2-pass play. But Blake Green kicked. If he went out the back, they had space.
I think he struggled to catch that ball, Gaz. I think he might have thought he was going to drop it and just thought he'd push it down onto his foot. So maybe it wasn't in his mind either until that poor pass was thrown.
Hodgson, little scoot. And they keep it alive. And it's touched in flight. Leilua doesn't muck around, though. He gets it onto Rapana. Gets away from one. Jordan Rapana. Austin in support. And the Raiders do hit back. Leipana. You just can't give them an inch. They'll take a mile.
Oh, they are unbelievable, those two, aren't they? In particular, Jordan Rapana. Just see how he shrugged away from Blake Green, who was coming across in cover. It all started with Joseph Tarpany and the offload. did a good job dragging a couple of players. Hodgson on the wraparound, and then the touch made by Kelly and quickly offloaded out to Jordan Rapana. Just shrugs away Blake Green, and Austin supporting up the centre. A 70-metre effort from the Canberra Raiders gets them back into it. Extraordinary balance. Just able to push away, change directions.
Such a good support player, Blake Austin. Every time they make a half break, he's pushing up the middle.
He's been a bit quiet, Blake Austin. If it's one of the Canberra halves that have been quiet, it's Austin. Caesar's been in reasonable form and played very well in the second half last week. I think it was his effort that in the end got Canberra the win against the Roosters, and Austin's running game really has been on the wane over the last month.
And you think from an attacking point of view, the structure isn't the biggest threat of Canberra. It's the offloads out the back, like then Tarpany out the back, fling it to Leilua and Rapana, and they react off the back of it.
It was a good sign early in the match where Austin almost got across the try line. Just took the Manly defence on with that right foot step.
He's had plenty of practice from out here this season, Jared Croker. 8 of 15 from right. He brings it back, and we are level. And that's a good effort from Canberra, because they were under the pump. Had to be 6-all after 18 minutes. Is testament to their scrambling defence at times at the other end. And Austin has his 5th try of the season. Played all 13 games now, and that man's influence with the fresh legs off the bench was important in that try. The man who gave away the penalty in Golden Point last time these teams met, Joe Tarpany. Now Paulo. Look at that. After contact, he rolled another 3 or 4 metres. Here is Tarpany once more. Awkward customer. Now Hodgson, flat pass for Caesar. And Papali had the arm free. No one in support for the little offload. And Boyd back out there after being cleared of the HIA problem. Now on the last, Caesar. He's going to poke it in, looking for touch. Did he get too much on it? He did. Big mistake. 7-tackle set coming up.
That was a missed opportunity for Caesar. It was a great play. That's what I mean. If they get Papali one-on-one with DCE, Brent Lawrence travelled down the short side, couldn't get there. Caesar called the football. He had 3-on-2. When you get a quick play the ball, Papali on DCE, them opportunities are going to present themselves.
You just mentioned Brenton Lawrence there. Brenton's got a cork on his left quad and has got huge padding on the left quad. He's in a deal of discomfort. His lateral movement is really limited, especially when he's pushing off his left leg, moving to the right. So don't be surprised if you see the Raiders target his right shoulder.
Keep an eye on that one. There's Green. Cherry Evans. And trying to slice through was right. Great one-on-one tackle made by Austin. Flat pass for Winterstein. 30 out on the 4th. Green stepping his way through the middle. Another one-on-one tackle made by Canberra. Now Cherry Evans stepping his way past a couple. Looking for Uarte. Kotrick backed off and trying to get his way out of there. Some run by Nick Kotrick, eventually swallowed up by the big man, came over the top for Nua Blake to finish him off.
That certainly helped, didn't it, for Nua Blake with the weight. Brenton Lawrence was also there. Daly Cherry Evans having to sidestep his way back to the short side and then put a kick in. And when Kotrick got his hands on that football, I know how powerful he is. I thought he might be a chance to get himself in there, but 2 heavyweights stop him. And look how quickly things have turned around. 7 tackles set at the other end. I don't know why Caesar was trying to find touch in the first place. They just come off the back of points. Keep the ball in play, put the pressure on Manly.
Look at that dropout travel from Austin. 62 on the fly. As a right, brings it back and he's met solidly by Whitehead. And Leilua finished off the job. Now Whenua Blank. He's able to keep on rolling. Pinches a few extra metres too, and the referee says go back a couple. Now the marker's invited forward as well. Lawrence ran into the shoulder of Tarpany. Coruscant to Trebojevic. Green, runners in motion. Wright keeps it moving for Kelly, but they weren't quite humming in that backline move. Big line back the other way now, and Trebojevic turned back inside by Green. What's the play at the end of all this? Cherry Evans goes short side. Coruscant comes the other. Little dab in behind, and they aren't forced to play at it. They get a 7-tackle set.
Well, there was an opportunity on the left. Coruscant, he showed that way and come back the right-hand side, but they had plenty of numbers on the left.
Gee whiz, there weren't too many numbers out here for Manly as they took the quick tap there. Croker was looking for options out here. And off the back of that kick that went dead, Canberra have surged their way inside the opposition 40. Nice little move at the line from Priest out there in the number 16 jumper. Whiten down the short side, whacked over the top by Sirenet. Caesar. Forward. They say forward pass, and Caesar is willing to debate that call.
You're always got to be careful with those inside passes. It's so easy for the runner to overrun them, and if you don't get the turn from the player that's passing the ball, it didn't look that bad, did it? But they made the call quickly, the referees. And a little let off there for Manly with still a tackle up their sleeve and a chance to get it in goal.
He could have used Tarpany. It was looming there for a pass that would definitely have been backwards. So Caesar makes a couple of mistakes in back-to-back attacking sets.
Breaking news on the sidelines, and Amos Louis, a suspected ACL injury, also gone for the day. Shannon Boyd, medial ligament problem in the knee. Raiders down to 15. What a battle this is going to be.
Yeah, he got back out there, but Shannon Boyd now withdrawn, and don't you hate it when you hear ACL?
You could see the frustration on Dynamis Louis. You knew it was an injury that he'd had before. He was punching the ground, and you often see that frustration as the ball just trickles over the sideline. When players have come back from serious injuries, they know it's the serious injury again, and you can tell it on Louis' face as he left.
Exactly right, especially when you show that emotion. Look at Shannon Boyd there, dejected. Now let's hope if that medial ligament isn't too serious, because there is different gradings.
So he did that when he was hit by Coruscant low. That was the problem.
So Ricky Stewart now has to put his thinking cap on how he uses his interchange the rest of the way. Got nearly an hour of game time to go, and they're down to just 2 options off the bench.
Yeah, and that's 2 middle players as well.
The benefit is Tarpany can play big minutes. He naturally can. It just depends whether Priest and Clydesdale can pick up the slack.
And Boyd was so looking forward to putting himself back in the Origin frame with a big performance today. If the Blues were to pick up injuries, that is, there won't be many changes, if any, from Laurie Daly, you wouldn't think. Austin out to Leilua. Good one-on-one tackle from Kelly, who met him front on. Partner eventually onto Austin, and Priest keeps it moving. Caesar out the back for Whiten. Croker, wonderful hands to Kotrick. Little kick that will run dead if Manly let it go dead, and they do. The hands from Croker deserved a bit more.
It was pretty to watch, wasn't it? Quickly transferred through his hands out to Nick Kotrick, who was running out of space and had to put a kick in to keep the ball alive. That beautiful hands there from Jared Croker. Their left, we'll talk about their right, but their left's pretty handy too, with Croker and Kotrick.
So Manly, who've scored 38 tries now via line breaks, the most of any in the comp. Looking to find another here. Home fans baying for a penalty. They haven't had one in a little while, but they certainly lead that count 4-1. Cherry Evans running behind a few of his teammates, then fires one out to Kelly. He tries to put the footwork on Leilua, and he got rid of him. And Austin there to help out. Now Coruscant. Marty Tapau going sideways and eventually forward, where he's picked off comfortably. Ball comes loose. And they say a mistake by Marty Tapau. Have a look at the replay, sir, and see how that one comes out, says the big Kiwi hitman.
Well, he can have a loose carry to Power. He likes to offload, but gee, how's this? Oh, it's just pulled out of his hands. No wonder he wanted them to have a look.
It's a lottery, isn't it?
Well, Whitehead thinks it's the last tackle, so he says, I'll have that. And Tapau says, hang on a minute. And the referees miss it. Quite extraordinary.
Daly, clear it.
Lock it, Daly.
Oh. And that's a little square up, perhaps.
The footy gods.
And this is a really good opportunity for Manly. They've had 56% of the football. There's already a lot of signs of fatigue within this Raiders pack. They've got to think repeat set of 6. Don't push passes. Don't overplay your hand. Worst case scenario, Blake Green's got 12 forced dropouts this year. Build the pressure. Take the energy out of the Raiders. It's not exactly cold out there. The sun is shining now.
Big mistake from the captain, Croker. Cherry Evans was just patting him on the head as it all unfolded. DCE gets another touch. Fanua Blake, he was ready for an offload and no one was willing and able in support. Green, Tapau, all the way through, Marty Tapau. And the fatigue may be a factor there for Canberra as they opened up big time. And Tapau slams it down and says to the fans, there's a kiss for good luck as well.
Well, he destroyed them last time they met. 6 offloads, 146 metres. He's been so good for Manly all season. Look at that. A late right foot step and then brute strength. Off the right, straight through. I have to give him the biggest raps this year, Marty Tapau. He's been so consistent, but in the little area as well. He's provided line speed. He's done the dirty work, third man in, kick chase. He's played good minutes. His offloads have been quite controlled. He's pushed up in close support. As a teammate, you couldn't have asked for anything more, and geez, he's getting the rewards, as are his teammates. Well done, Marty Tapau.
That's a costly error by the captain, Jared Croker, and Manly score 3 tackles into the ensuing set. Tapau just has that ability to hit the defensive line, but then accelerate again. That stop-start speed, which normally big men don't have, and Manly have actually got 2 front rowers that have great speed for big players, Brenton Lawrence and Tapau, but Tapau just has that ability to crash into a defender and then accelerate. Normally renowned from little men, but he's a great athlete. And you're right, Gaz, they've turned him into a consistent performer this year.
His first try in over a year, Marty Tapau, round 10 last season. It was converted by Matty Wright. As we get down to the sideline with Hannah Hollis again.
Hello, gentlemen. Yeah, so Matthew Wright kicks his second for the afternoon. But while the football ends this afternoon, the football analysis begins tomorrow night on NRL 360 on Fox League. And it's Coaches Night with Kevy Walters and Laurie Daly.
Just an update on Marty Tapau too. It was the ring finger on his right hand. The bloke has got hands on him like baseball mitts, so quite a bit of force was needed. And in fact, the dislocation when it popped out in a really difficult spot, so it took the medics some time to see Aiden Fanua-Blake do a Marty Tapau impersonation.
I like the little banner on the sideline. They resisted the temptation for the Kapow goes to Pow. and went with the wham bam instead. Thank you, ma'am. And now Uwate running at the line with no thoughts of self-preservation either. Walker. Caesar aims up one-on-one. A little bit of niggle between those two.
Gee, a couple of good tackles there from the halfback.
Not a bad kick by the opposing number 7. Cherry Evans into the corner. Trying to give Whiten limited room to move, and Uwate. Good hit over the top. The home fans love that one. And he follows up down low on Kotrick. Languishing in reserve grade, and Bob Fulton and Trent Barrett just asked the question, and he's been reinvigorated here on the Northern Beaches. Aquila Uwate after falling out of favour in the Hunter. Papali. Put on his back by Tapau for a slow play the ball on the last. And they get pressure on the kicker. Coruscant was following through. And Austin got it down low and got it to right inside the 10. Oh, Caesar came out of it a little awkwardly that time as you look for another big hit, the little number 7. Taking a little time out on the wing as Kotrick stepped in for him. Now Uwate. Walker. Looking for options. Links with Trebojevic. Now Green. Coruscant. Is it opening up down the middle? They're certainly trying to do that, and they scramble well, Canberra. All sorts of inside options. They go with one more. Little basketball pass. Cherry Evans following through. And a wonderful set from Manly.
Yeah, great play. Fantastic work. Cherry Evans, Dylan Walker, Appy Coruscant, all involved in little plays around the ruck. And in that last one there, Dylan Walker got a nice kick off the outside of the boot. He dragged Jack Whiten towards that short side and then kicked it back centre field. And Whiten, the ball didn't pop up for him and he was forced to just take it dead. Another good opportunity here for the Sea Eagles.
They've already forced 3 line dropouts. They average around 2.5 a game this season. And normally it's been Blake Green providing them. This afternoon it's been DCE with a couple and Dylan Walker with the latest. Here is Green. Tapau running at Tarpany again. Got some joy with the try a moment ago. That time Tarpany and Papali driving back. Trebojevic looking for the offload. Gets it away. Green quickly to DCE. Now Sirinen, another offload. Who's going to straighten things up? Walker getting cheeky. 4 come in and say, try that one on. Tapau has another go. Out there is Lloyd Perrott in for Nate Miles, who didn't come up with that elbow after his Origin commitments. Maybe a week or 2 on the sidelines for Nate. Oh, off the bootlaces. Kelly outstanding, and Georgie Tafua is in wonderful try-scoring form. He's got 8 in his last 10 games now. The pass wasn't intended for Kelly, but boy, did he make it work.
Have a look at this pickup from Kelly. It was at his tippy toes, and it was on the run. Blake Green goes to the line. Brilliant decoy from Winterstein. Right leaves it. Look at that pickup. And Tafua, there is no way you're going to stop him from there. Look at them hands on the bounce. Wow.
Well, he did well enough just to pick it up, Gaz, but to get a pass away under the pressure with Leilua jamming in on him and to find the mark where Tafua didn't have to stop on his run and found his way into that corner, that was special play. Great skill from Brian Kelly.
And it was a bit scrappy in the lead-up, wasn't it? There was kind of going nowhere. Dylan Walker submitted. It wasn't as potent and as direct as what it had been, but I really like the look of them Manly when they go to that left edge. Winterstein, he runs such a good decoy, such a good line. He got them back into the game against the Melbourne Storm that was here at Brookvale by running a great line.
Yeah, and the ball that they've had in the last 10 minutes, they just have dominated where the game's being played as well. And you would expect the score to be around this mark. Manly would be happy with that now.
Well, he's 7 from 7 with the boot so far this season, Matty, right? This is his biggest test from wide left. Veteran of more than 100 games. He made his debut against the Raiders back in 09. Strikes it all right, but it's across the face. And it's a 10-point lead for Manly. But Georgie Tafua, he's their leading try scorer this season with 8. And he's just 1 away from breaking into the top 10 all-time try scorers at Manly with 70 now.
Yeah, you'd need a truck to hit George and take him across the sideline when he goes for that corner. And I don't know if that'd do the job. But a repeat set gave Manly the crack. And you're right, Gaz, it was disjointed. The offloads weren't finding the mark, and then they set up Blake Green down that left side.
Well, a towering kickoff from Austin that Sirinen deals with and says, I'll bring it back as well. So Perrott, just his 3rd appearance this season. He was there in round 1. He's had some injury concerns, and that's a good offload from the interchange forward. What about that from Tapau, who leads the comp in offloads? Now it's stripped clear, and the referee says he's happy with it. 1-on-1 for Hodgson, presumably.
Well, that's a big play from Hodgson. That's a big defensive play, that, because Manly were making metres again and had the Canberra Raiders on the back foot.
Oh, Tarpany lets them down, and Walker bounces quickly the other way. And he says, let's kick on the first, because I sense an opportunity. And Cherry Evans finishes off the job. How clever is Dylan Walker? So sharp of mind. He sensed an opportunity, and they've got 4 points off the back of it.
Absolutely brilliant there from Dylan Walker. Gets the loose ball. Canberra had made a play. Hodgson came up with a one-on-one steal, and then on the next play, Tarpany, who's been good for the Raiders, drops the ball. Dylan Walker realised that he had Uarte and Daly Cherry Evans in support, couldn't throw a pass. The kick was the play with the Canberra Raiders. Jared Croker almost getting to him, and then Cherry Evans with the speed. What a finish to this first half it has been. Final 10 minutes of it, all the Sea Eagles.
Can't wipe the smiles off the faces around Lotto Land. They loved that try, didn't they, Gaz?
And you look at the crowd, a good turnout too, and I tell you what, they're responding to players. What a performance this has been for 38.5 minutes. And crucial, Brandy mentioned it, the Hodgson one-on-one break, it was huge in the context of the game. It was potentially going to give the Raiders an opportunity at what was 16-6 to strike a blow, but then they turn it straight round. Dylan Walker, great vision, and well done Uarte and DCE to put themselves in that position as well.
And a lot of the attention was on Dylan Walker coming into this one. And of course, after what happened last time these teams met, when he copped some awful sprays and then kicked that winning penalty goal off the upright. He scored the opening try this afternoon, but that was even better the way he summed up that situation. And right, he hits the post. I love Dylan Walker, but can't glance it in. Hit it flush. And it's a 14-point margin. Third try in his last 4 games against the Raiders for Cherry Evans. They were queuing up as well. Uarte was there if DCE didn't get to it. So it was a wonderful option after getting possession on the first tackle. Walker says, let's not waste any time. Remember, he was part of the Blues setup just last year.
He was playing better football this year than he did last year, of course, in the centres this year.
Perrott brings it back this time. And they should be content with this scoreline, you'd reckon. 20 metres out from their own line. Tapau will take the final tackle. Oh, no, he says, let's get one more offload away and add to that stat. Coruscant, he is wrapped up. Scintillating football from Manly in the first 40. Dylan Walker outstanding, Cherry Evans in form, and Marty Tapau with a try as well, leading from the front. It's 20-6 at half-time.
Trent, what was the message to the boys?
Oh, this first 10 minutes is extremely important. It was a bit of a clunky old first half. We're sort of a little bit flat, I thought, at the beginning, but they're a team that can score, I guess, freakish sort of tries, and you say lucky tries, I guess, but they can score, and they can score them from a long way out, as you saw with the Blake Austin one. So look, our kick chase has to be really good. We have to look after their back five and control the footy a bit better. We're getting a few offloads away, but we've got to be a bit calculated when we do.
Cheers, pal.
Thanks, mate.
Yeah, they only have to look back 2 games ago. They led by the Broncos by 14 at half-time and were run down. That was up at Suncorp in a home game. But Dylan Walker has played inspired footy this afternoon. Jake Trbojevic backing up from Origin. Very good as well, but Marty Tapau's been the real leader.
Well, he's the only player in double figures for runs, Marty Tapau. 11 runs, almost 100 metres. Scored a try halfway through that first half. One of the 4 tries that Manly scored. They're pretty good stats there for a player that's having a terrific season.
All right, stay behind it.
So Austin restarts things, holding up on the breeze, and Cherry Evans gets there for Perrott, who thought about the offload. And they got plenty away late in that half. As Mark Gasnier, you were sensing fatigue would be a factor, and it did seem to set in. They would have welcomed half-time, Canberra.
Absolutely. They only had 38% of the football. They're down to 15 men. That's why a huge responsibility on Caesar and Austin to control this game the best they can. But at the same time, they've got to play catch-up football, so it's got to be a calculated risk.
Here's Green from inside his 40, but not looking for the 40-20. Picked out Whiten on the chest. They've kept him in check as well with his run-backs. Hasn't been able to get away from the Sea Eagles as Kotrick comes off the back of it. He'll be 18 right the way throughout his rookie season before turning 19 after the season. Nick Kotrick, and what a performance he has produced week in, week out in 2017. As Canberra get a penalty here, so here's the little opening they're after.
Yeah, only got 2 in the first half, and that didn't help that swing of possession, which favoured Manly heavily. But here's a chance for the Raiders to
Here we are here. Bring it back.
begin this second half on a good note.
Rapana and Leilua set up their only try for Austin, and look at that.
Wow, he almost dropped that. That was a sloppy pass from Whitehead.
Good second effort from Caesar just to hold on. Tarpany, he had his issues with ball handling. And Marty Tapau in that first 40. Hodgson, little no-look pass. And Priest will play it. Caesar. Paulo, flat pass for the big number 8. Slow play the ball for Hodgson. Tarpany. Thought we were getting a little runaround play, but Tarpany trying to take on all comers. Which way will Hodgson go? He goes left through Caesar. Little kick in behind, knocked down by Cherry Evans. Will be another set coming up for Canberra.
Good wide ball there from Josh Hodgson. Bit of space did open up. He tried to get the ball through there, and Cherry Evans, with an awkward bouncing ball, couldn't get it on the second grab.
It was a spitting cobra, like an off spinner on a subcontinental deck. Just came up off a good length, and Cherry Evans couldn't deal with it. So back-to-back sets here. Can Canberra capitalise? Austin showing it. And Coruscant makes a good one-on-one hit. Paulo again. They wrap up the ball. Trbojevic came across with the left hand just to deny the second phase. Short pass for Priest, and he sat on his back. Home fans love the goal line defence there. Now Paulo has another crack. Gets it out the back. There a chance here. He looked for Austin. It's knocked down. An important touch from Manly. But will all these tackles add up in the end to 4 points for Canberra? Now they signal it. Canberra were paying for the signal from Jared Sutton, who eventually obliged. Tarpany getting heavily involved early in this second 40. Hodgson. Now Whitehead. Doesn't get it through the hands of Leipana. And Leilua has to go into dummy half, and Blake Green in the vicinity. Rapana! They didn't have a whole lot of room to work with. But they did it beautifully, and Manly just clocked off and let Leipana do their thing.
Yeah, they do it so often too. Just push back a little bit. Blake Green got himself in between the ball there, and Leilua took advantage of it. Winterstein wasn't sure which way they were going, which brought Brian Kelly in and left George Tafua posted. And can you throw it to a better man to get the ball down in a situation like that? But Tafua left his wing, and he shouldn't have.
That's just poor wing play from Tafua. You got to demand that your inside men come to you, not the other way around. He just got caught really narrow, then lost sight of where Jordan Rapana was. And to BJ Lua's credit, he sensed that. Gave him an opportunity. Even if he got an opportunity one-on-one, you would back him. But Trent Barrett, he would be really angry. You heard him say there, the first 10 minutes of this second half is so important. And they concede a penalty first set, back-to-back sets, now a try.
And Vunivalu, with a double the other night, gave him some company at the top of the try-scoring ranks, Jordan Rapana. But he pulls clear again with his 12th of the season. And Croker looking to convert and make it an 8-point ball game. Game on again. After all that ball at the start of the second half, the points eventually came. Leading point scorer in 2016, Jared Croker, but he was 20 off the pace heading into this game after missing a couple of games early in the season, you may remember, due to that knee injury, which is strikes this one well. Beautiful sideline conversion, and it's tightening up here, Hannah Hollis.
Ricky Stuart's halftime message has hit home for the Raiders. At halftime, he actually said he was pretty happy with the way the boys were playing. He said if the Raiders can have 17 sets the same way Manly did, they can turn it around. And he said it was imperative that the Raiders got the first try in this second half, and that's exactly what they've done. Now, Ricky Stuart has spoken a lot about character and mental strength down in Canberra, and he said with the scoreline the way it is and with a two-man bench, now is the perfect time to show everyone just how much they've grown.
We saw it the other night as well with Parramatta. They were down to the bare bones on the bench, and they got the 2 points as well, just.
Brave win.
And Canberra fight back here. They've made the perfect start. And Paulo runs back at Tapau and company. Priest just wrestled down by Winterstein. Now Whitehead. Safe stuff out of their own red zone. Can't get it all back at once. Tarpany. Just looks like Ricky Stuart's had a word in his ear at halftime after a below-par showing. Starting to make up for it. Awkward one for Uarte. Got the hands out of the way. Now Wright brings it back to the 20. Cherry Evans into dummy half, and here's Tafua. Only Paul Gallen has made more runs this season than Georgie Tafua. Great work rate off that left wing. Canberra muscling up defensively this time. Good tackle, Leilua and Austin force their man back. And they get Tapau down. Haven't done that a whole lot. Green. Gesturing Winterstein back inside, and he gets the ball free. Winterstein going back to his sevens days there. A bit of flamboyance with the ball in hand. And he's a little unsettled after that one. He's still down, Winterstein. As Whiten brings it back. Trainer getting out to the left edge, second rower. Oh, just had the wind knocked out of him.
I think you'll find it was Rapana. He came third man in, and Winterstein's ribs were exposed, and he just got in underneath them beautifully.
Complaining of rib problem is Frank Winterstein. Also, Jake Travojevic has gone from the field up into the dressing room under the HIA. He'll have a couple of stitches in the melon. Curtis Sirenin is also struggling, so not ideal for the Manly back rowers at the moment.
See whether Canberra can pounce on that. Last tackle here for Austin. Another towering bomb. Doesn't he get the spiral going beautifully, but there's no chase. Tafua went underneath it, though, and it bounces to Rapana. Back inside Whitehead. And getting back, scrambling to get the intercept was Blake Green, an important intervention.
Yeah, opportunity there for the Raiders. George Tafua, I don't know why sides don't kick it more often to George Tafua. Under a high ball, he can be clueless. As we just saw, Matthew Wright had trouble getting to it on the full. They looked at each other. There was some confusion, and Blake Green came up with a big play to deny a Raiders try.
And there it is there. He didn't get anywhere near it. It's a blueprint. That set was a blueprint. They stayed down the left-hand edge, at the right-hand edge of Manly, made easy meters and then kicked it to Tafua.
See whether that pattern develops in the second half. If Brandy Alexander and Gasnier were calling the shots, they'd be telling Austin to go that way every time. Here's Cherry Evans. What a purchase he got on that kick. And Rapana had to let it go. Starts 5 metres out from his own line.
Some interchange here for the Canberra Raiders. Adam Clydesdale has come onto the field, the backup hooker, but Josh Hodgson is going to stay out on the field as well because of their interchange and their rotation has been disrupted. So Clydesdale moves into dummy half and Josh Hodgson will move into a ball-playing or running middle role.
And Clydesdale, maybe not a whole lot of time in first grade left for him because Kurt Baptiste played his third game in reserves today and got a lot of minutes under his belt, and he's not too far away.
Looked good too, didn't he, Brenton?
Yep, he's an important player for them too. Touched by Blake Green. It'll be another set for Canberra, and they are just dominating possession in this second half as they look to come back.
Okay, shot clock on.
They're well behind at half-time in terms of who had the football in the opening 40. Austin jinking, going to the outside. Just off a Manly hand, not for the first time in this second half. They get a 6-to-go call.
There's confirmation from the Fox Sports lab about all that possession in the second half. 71% of it. If they can keep that above 60, you think they'll be right back in this contest. Clydesdale out to Caesar, and now Whiten got around Cherry Evans, still going Whiten, nearly running out of room and hit the deck for fear of going into touch. Soliola sets them up 15 out. Clydesdale does take over. Hodgson at first receiver. They go that way for the hooker. Delayed pass from Caesar. Austin to Rapana. That time they numbered up successfully on the left edge for Manly. Leilua gets it moving the other way. Priest running straight at Coruscant, who's not shy to dig in defensively. Austin, they have another crack. Leilua. And Rapana, that was an ugly ruck to deal with.
Lost in goal, 20.
And they're asking for a penalty about what went on in the play of the ball. Instead, it's going to be a 20-metre tap for Manly on the restart, and they'll take that, the home team.
Well, they almost took advantage again of some confusion in around the ruck. Leilua got up and played the ball quickly. Rapana thought he'd make the most of it with some Manly players still trying to get onside. Gee, Rapana got himself into the in-goal area.
But Green got first hands on him, and Green was offside.
Well,
and he gets away with it.
Yep.
And that's what Ricky Stewart has been fuming about, how ugly the ruck can get, and they don't get penalties for it. Coruscant. Lawrence, you can see that strapping Andy Raymond was commenting on, just dealing with that Corky. Slow play the ball for Tapau. Cherry Evans. Sirinen. Hunting crossfield. And they wrap up the ball. Important to do that against this Manly side. Would have been another key message from Ricky Stewart at the break. Green had to get down low to make sure of the catch after a sloppy pass from DCE, who gets it this time and looks for touch, and he'll find it. 5 out.
Well, after a messy set, I guess that was the best option for Cherry Evans, just to get it across the sideline and just take stock.
And it's a good team to do it against. When the Raiders get a roll on, it is so hard to stop, probably more so than any other team in the competition. So when you can get them from a set start like this, readjust your defensive line, maybe have a word to your forwards and the other players, particularly after the start they've had to this second half. Good play by Cherry Evans.
Here's one more look at this play. Look at Blake Green, never onside as a marker, and then the ball stripped out successfully by Winterstein, one-on-one. Lost forward by Rapana, and that's why they got the 20-metre tap. Might be clipping that up and sending it off to Tony Archer this week, Ricky Stewart.
Well, there could have been a whistle blown a number of times for a number of things in that play, the ball.
Well, there we go. Hodgson accused of trying to milk that penalty. And they come out to meet Priest.
Jackson Hastings onto the field will be playing dummy half. As a result, Abby Coruscant has gone for an HIA test.
Coruscant's been terrific out there for Manly today, particularly defensively.
That last tackle he made down the other end did look a little awkward. Been where he picked up that problem. Caesar, he gets a nice spiral going as well, but right camped underneath this one. Oh, has a couple of cracks at it. Suddenly this game has the potential to get into a heart and mouth situation for Manly. Didn't look that way at the break. Uwate. Here's Hastings into that dummy half roll, linking with Walker. Been a little quiet in the second half after starring in the opening 40. Now Brown. Kelly keeps it alive for Tafua. Didn't have too many places to go. Hits the deck. Green stabbing it. He's going to find the grass, and Whiten plays at it. Had time, summed it up pretty well. Didn't want it to get into the in goal.
No, it's a couple of times now Blake Green's just dropped it over the defensive line and found some space in the middle of the field. Jack Whiten patrolling down the short side.
Great run and then play the ball from Kotrick. Allowed Croker to pick up another 10 or 15. Now Papali out of dummy half. And they're up over halfway. No one in support. He had the arms free. Clydesdale. Caesar. Austin. Out the back for Whitehead. Oh, Leilua. A little casual. Perhaps not expecting the pass initially. And he puts it down.
That was just a lazy attempt at a catch, Leilua. They look so much better when they stay over that left-hand side. They're left. They roll upfield so easily. I'd like to see Whiten on the right hand of Papali. He's always got it free, and there it is. The attempt by Leilua, subpar.
Now, I thought he might have got a difficult pass, but on replay, there was nothing wrong with the ball he got. It was just a one-handed, lazy grab at the footy.
I don't think he wanted it. He didn't want the pass, and when Whitehead threw it, he thought, oh, gee whiz. I'll just pluck this one hand, but it didn't work. Sirinen. Brown and Hastings, the freshman. Fanua Blake back out there for Manly as well, as Tapau takes a seat. And here he is, right on cue. Adam Fanua-Blake. Hastings to Green. And now Brown. Got rid of the initial tackle from Austin and the second one as well from Whitehead. Strong run from Lewis Brown. Green hunting up with Fanua-Blake. Good hit from Clydesdale. Now Green. Cherry Evans ran behind his man. And Uate can't track it down. They'll get a 7-tackle set out of it. Would have been interesting to see how they reviewed that. Had a try come for it from it.
Would have been a penalty to Canberra. Yep. There's no doubt that Cherry Evans ducked behind his lead runner there, and he took another step too, and then realised I better get rid of this ball. I can't pass, I'll kick it. There he is there. If it had been any other result other than a 20-metre tap, I would have said, well, it has to be a penalty to the Raiders.
Rapali. Good run, gets the offload away this time. Rapana keeps it moving for Whitehead. Leilua's out there waiting for it this time. And they're over halfway. Just a couple of tackles gone. Rapana out of dummy half. Can't get away from Lewis Brown, who's providing much needed energy for the home team. Hodgson. Different role for him now with Clydesdale out there. Caesar showing it and getting through the line. No one in support. He just fires it out the back and does find Papali. Now Croker has Kotrick outside him and Manly just scramble. Caesar. Strong run. And just upended in time was Austin. Ball comes out and penalty given.
The 5th tackle penalty too. Manly just hanging on, some desperate defence there. Good run from Austin. Shrugged away from a few Manly defenders. Thought he was going to have another crack at the line.
They could make it a converted try ball game by taking a 2-point option here, but they want to score the try. Still plenty of time to go. Quarter of the game to go for Soliola. How long did that play the ball take? And there might be a warning upcoming for Manly, who have seen a few players disappear to the sin bin this season. Paulo going all the way towards the padding. Wasn't too far away from putting that down on the line. Clydesdale can't get away from Hastings, who got out of marker quick smart. Soliola into dummy half. Had plenty of men out there on the left. Caesar comes back down the right. Good pass to Whitehead. Now Austin. And Croker hitting it at speed, but he left it behind. And Manly hold on under all sorts of pressure.
And I don't know if they would have been able to hold on for 6 tackles there. They look rattled, Manly, and the Raiders have obliged by making an error on the 2nd tackle.
And Croker cops a late hit for his efforts here. You see Austin drift across field. Croker comes short.
Oh. Did he run into Lloyd Perrott after he's... Yeah. Dylan Walker's pushed him in field, and then Lloyd Perrott sliding across has made contact with Croker, but 2nd tackle error, Gaz.
And I don't know why they just don't play short to Papali. They create all the space. They play nice and straight. There may be a question for a shoulder charge. Well, he's cocked the shoulder, hasn't he?
Is Perrott just protecting himself? Because it gets awkward. He's not expecting Croker to get through. And
that's what we've said.
Well, all of a sudden, Croker's on top of him, and it's just a collision. Yeah, that's a collision.
Yeah. And Croker is right to soldier on now after having the wind knocked out of him.
Hold!
Time on, ball in.
Hold!
Down!
Going for Walker down the short side, and Caesar was sweating on it. Lawrence. Great offload. Fanua-Blake just palms Clydesdale aside. He says you better come with a thoroughbred if you want to stop me.
Yeah, that's a big run. Fanua Blake has been strong for Manly this afternoon.
What about the roar around Lotto Land after that run? Cherry Evans kicks, and it bounces away from White, and he'll have to play at it now. Look at this chase from Manly, and they pick him off. Inspired stuff, and the crowd was a big factor there.
And that's a great play, Daly Cherry Evans. We saw the brilliance he possesses, the ball to Dylan Walker in the first half, but that's smart play. They've been on the back foot this whole second half. That was third tackle. He put it in the perfect position in the in goal, and his teammates backed him up. Look who's first down there, Daly Cherry Evans, along with Dylan Walker. That is a huge play.
Not an easy job to keep Jack White in the in goal. He's a big fullback, Jack White, and the collision with Dylan Walker was huge, but Cherry Evans there. Short kick from Austin.
He gets some height on it too. Here comes Rapana, knocks it back, and then Whitehead lets them down. They would have secured possession there, and the second rower just couldn't latch onto it.
Well, what a result that would have been, and Whitehead, just the ball sitting on the ground for him.
Fanua Blake sets them up again. Daly Cherry Evans to Sirinen out there on the right edge, and the crowd just a little hush all of a sudden as they wait for the payoff. Walker running into the big man. Hastings has a big line spread out to the left. They go through DCE to Green. Showing it to Alwyn Sundry, and then he thought I might be able to reach out for a moment, but they hold on. Whitehead. Now Wright, some stepping at the line, trying to cut inside on Caesar, who got down low. Now Cherry Evans, another kick, low and hard. Do with that what you can, and Rapana gets whacked by Tafua, who says we'll have another set of six, thanks.
Hold up, boys.
And check your teeth, Jordan.
That's a couple this afternoon that Cherry Evans has drilled across the field into the in-goal area. Got a result in the first half, and then Rapana was there, eyes on the football, and as he swung around to go forward, Tafua was there with the shoulder.
Oh, something Steve Maddai taught him.
Couple of big kicks from Cherry Evans over the last few minutes.
He's really good at kicking it off the outside of his foot, so it actually curls like a banana away from the in-goal line.
Here we go again. Austin, a little too deep that time, not enough elevation in it to allow the chasers to get there, but it's a wonderful weapon he possesses, and why not have a crack? Tafua goes the other way, and after contact picks up another 5 metres or so. Was it an awkward fall here for Georgie Tafua though?
George Tafua.
Yeah, looks like he got just twisted back. It was a solid hit.
It's one of those tackles where you see even the opposition players had concern.
It's his knee as well.
For a man in try-scoring form after that massive hit on Rapana. The wincing comes for George here. Oh, the leg gets stuck under him.
That's medial.
Medial, same as Shannon Boyd.
Just the weight there from Clydesdale, and it doesn't take much, does it, to get your knee and your leg in the wrong place with some weight on it from a defender.
Well, the problem is there's people up the top, your ankle's caught in the ground, so something's got to give, and unfortunately it's your knee. And for those at home, that's the inside of your knee, the ligament that runs surrounding your knee. And the problem is it can feel okay, but then, you know, give it 1 or 2 minutes and it starts to hurt a lot.
Dynamis Louis already gone with a suspected ACL today. We hold our breath, and so do the Manly fans, for Georgie Tafua back to his feet.
Yeah, they can ill afford to lose another of their back three with Tom Trebojevic on the sideline, so don't want to lose George and the power that he provides.
And Lawrence cutting back inside. Determined run from the big man. And eventually upended just a metre out. Hastings gets in there. Trebojevic, little ball playing from the New South Wales Origin man. Green eventually. Hastings having a little dart. And former Rooster will play it for Brown. They've got some options at dummy half, don't they? And they're offside rather, Leilua, by about 5 metres or so.
Well, he saw Cherry Evans was going to get the ball. Once he came down the short side, Leilua was offside by metres. You were right. Now, I don't know whether that determined whether the dummy half passed it or not.
Soliola got the offload away, fearful of getting sent back into his own in goal. They don't like the third man in there, Lawrence, down low on Leilua. Croker, it's hard work for Canberra on this set. Now Papali, and he runs straight at Cherry Evans, who had support. A couple of teammates, Fanua, Blake and Walker, lending assistance on that tackle. Now Austin, Paulo, and you get the arms free, up over halfway on the last. Austin didn't get the connection he was after, but it's going to find the deck and bounce. And Cherry Evans played at it. Do they get 6 more? They still signal the last, which is interesting. So Hodgson has to put it on the boot. And it's out in the full. I thought Cherry Evans had a hand up there and played at it, and it rebounded the way of Canberra, but they say play on.
Now, I was thinking the same as you. I thought Cherry Evans made a play at the ball and got a touch to it, and then it fell into the hands of Croker. So,
and they're big moments.
Yeah, they might have copped a rough call up the other end of the field, but they might have got a result there.
Well, they might have got it right.
I don't know if I'm feeling the same way after watching that replay.
Here we go. Cherry Evans is there. The hand, he touches it, for sure. I suppose the issue is whether you look back and say whether Croker knocked it on once it hits Cherry Evans, but he definitely touched it and he definitely played it. And they get no joy.
Happy Coruscant won't be returning. He's failed his HIA test.
Good scoot from Hastings. Marty Tapau gets around 1. Gets rid of Austin as well. He put the head down as well and run into a couple. And again, they can't get him down, so he plays it quickly for Hastings. Green. Crossfield kick, and Austin was ready and waiting. They keep on staying in this contest, just the Raiders. Whiten.
Yeah, Trent Barrett knows what sort of side they are. He said at half-time, we know that they can score a try from anywhere. From anywhere on the field, and here goes Rapana.
Right on cue. Jordan Rapana trying to turn White right inside out. He does so beautifully. The leading try scorer in the comp with something out of nothing. Jordan Rapana, and he rubs it in as well. And they're back within a try, Canberra.
Well, how good is he? Jordan Rapana. They were all bunched, the Canberra Raiders. It didn't look like there was anything doing. And as you said, right on cue. He goes straight through the middle of the ruck. The markers were slow to get back. Trebojevic just goes inside shoulder. Fanua, Blake, Jackson Hastings, fatigue, and right. He just turns him inside out. A gallant chase from Kelly, but he can't get there either. And haven't we got a ball game right now? They've done it the hard way, the Canberra Raiders. But all of a sudden, you watch them, it looks going to look like they're going to have energy.
And watch the last play. We thought it might be a hamstring when Rapana came up, but look at Wright's boots. I reckon come down on the hamstring region there.
Oh.
And that's why Rapana was a little ginger getting up.
He'll be right, but it wouldn't tickle, but he'll be right.
That's why he threw the ball at him and said thanks for that.
13 tries this year. How many times has he rescued Canberra? The best dummy half runner in the game, Jordan Rapana. Just, you mentioned the lazy defenders, but there was plenty of them there. Yes, it just had the speed and the footwork to navigate his way through.
But he puts himself in that position too. The last 5 sets, he's been floating around the ruck, pushing up in close support. He was on Papali's right arm on one occasion. He stopped the third man in on Leilua. He was that close to the football.
That's back-to-back doubles. Scored a couple last week, early on, didn't he? Against the Roosters. And then that's 7 tries in his last 6 games against Manly as well. Just a try-scoring freak.
He did it easy too. 70 metres out. Once he got through that initial line, no one was going to catch him. He's great to watch.
And Croker makes it a 2-point ball game. Remember last time they met, round 8, it went to Golden Point. It was the same scoreline, wasn't it? 20-18 in the end.
You got to remember Manly now down to 16 men. Andy said earlier, Coruscant not been able to come back.
And Tafua on one leg.
Yeah.
The Raiders have had to battle on without Shannon Boyd, Dynamis Louis for most of the match. They'll miss Coruscant's defence around the ruck. And that was evident just then. Happy Coruscant's on the field, well, it might have given Manly more of a chance to stop Rapana before he got clear.
So right with the restart. And here's Tarpany to bring it back. Good strong run as well, outside of the 20 on the opening hitter. Whitehead picks up another 10. And Hodgson. Everyone was looking for the run from Paulo back on the inside, and they came outside for Leilua. Now Paulo gets it and puts it through the hands of Soliola. Sia Soliola picks up some good metres. They've got a real roll on here off the back of points. Caesar looked like a knock on, and they do see it that way from Whiten.
Well, they had the space. Soliola, when he had the football, Croker just got caught off guard. They had the overlap and they had the space. So many times they've threatened out that side. They've just been caught off guard. It was a great play to get in that position.
Oh.
Jack Whiten just tried to push into the hole.
I think Hastings was there to make the tackle, but that's a few times now that Canberra have put the last pass down when there was a chance to open Manly up even further.
There's an extra spring in their step, though, isn't there?
Yeah, they look dangerous and they look likely, don't they?
And I thought we were a little optimistic talking up their chances at half-time, down by 14 and down a couple of men, but they've been so resilient. Ricky Stewart gave them the messages at half-time and they've responded. Here's Trebojevic. Played 43 minutes in his first Origin. Made 23 tackles in that time. Now Brown. Trying to milk one. Hastings eventually to Cherry Evans, and now Fanua Blake running at a smaller man, and there's no one there for the offload. You should be hunting up when Fanua Blake goes forward. They do when this man gets it to Powell. Good tackle made by Tarpany, wrapped him up one-on-one. Cherry Evans looking for another repeat set. I think you'll get it too. Wonderful kick from Cherry Evans. He's come up with a couple now in the second half at important times.
Last 3 kicks, he's forced 3 line dropouts. The long one where he made the tackle himself. The last 2 down that right edge, forcing Rapana back. But the kick was perfect. Deep enough into the in goal to make it hard for Rapana. And here comes another short one from Austin.
And Tafua gets there. Now, Cherry Evans hasn't played Origin since 2014 and wasn't really in the conversation heading into game 1, but Blake Austin thought he'd be fired up tonight to show that he's still got it. Right. So after the short dropout, they're in great field position to try and put this game to bed with a converted try. Hastings. Green steps inside Hodgson. Can't get away from Papali though. Does manage to play it quickly. Fanua Blake. Oh, they'll Austin, no contest, and big Adam Fanua-Blake.
No try.
He deserves that try.
That will be tackle 5.
Rumbling his way
No
over.
try.
There you go.
Looking at the lead runner and his possible interference on Elliot Whitehead.
And
A blocker.
the lead runner was Marty Tapau, and I thought the dummy half was just
We're looking at
about
a possible obstruction in the lead up to a grounding by Manly.
to hit Marty Tapau with a flat ball, but decided to bend it out the back to Adam Fanua-Blake. Jackson Hastings across the field.
We can see there's interference by Martin Tapau as a lead runner, which has impacted on the Canberra defensive line. We have a decision going to the board.
It wipes out Whitehead.
Nice.
Doesn't give him a chance. And what a turn of events. You're thinking Manly had the sealer. Instead, it's a penalty to Canberra. And they can get rolling again.
Massive turnaround there. And they waste no time.
There was talk of Tapau maybe going to the NFL. You can get away with that in that competition, but not in this one.
Only needs an extra step just to get yourself through the line.
And Whitehead, who earned that penalty effectively. Now Paulo. They're up to halfway, just 2 tackles gone. Caesar for Papali. Gaz has been crying out for Papali to get the ball on that left edge. They go back that way again through Croker. Palmed off Walker. He's got to stay in the field of play, and he does. Good run from the captain. Kotrick into dummy half. Slow service for Caesar. Now Austin. Can Rapana finish it off with a hat-trick? Whiten.
Numbered up well there, Manly.
Rapana into dummy half. Shocking pass for Leilua. Looking to make it work though. Oh, what a ball, but it's forward. It won't count. He flicked it out to Whitehead. They thought they were in front, but it doesn't count.
And Tafua's gone down as well. This doesn't look good with his knee. What about the pass, BJ Leilua? Unfortunately, it went forward for Raiders fans, but the trainer straight away signalled for the stretcher. Look at, he steps back, BJ Leilua. Rapana's there pushing up in close support. He throws the ball. Oh. Well, they're right on the spot, so you can't argue, but look at Tafua. Straight away, his knee right there. Bang.
Yeah, George has gone down like he's been shot, and he'll hobble off. 2 near things, one for Manly at the other end with Fanua-Blake, and now the pass from Leilua only just floating forward. There wasn't much in that.
When they go down that left-hand side, Brent, just elaborating on what I was saying earlier, they've got to stay there because they do all the damage, and you saw Croker. They've got to triple up on their plays because that's where they create the opportunity.
So the home fans here sensing their team need them again, trying to lift them for an important set here. No Tafua defending on this left edge if Canberra do get back into position to strike. They've got Kelly out on the left wing at the moment. They want a penalty there, and they're not going to get one. Brown to Cherry Evans. Trying to bend it away from Whiten, who was guarding against the stoppage in play for the scrum. Good tackle made by Hastings. And away they go through Kotrick. 3 minutes to go, 2-point ball game. Canberra looking to pull off an extraordinary second half comeback away from home. Rapana turning it back and flicking it inside for Caesar. Came out the other side briefly. Rapana's there again from dummy half. Standing around looking for options and finds Caesar. Now Croker. Inside the 20 on the last. What is the play here? Caesar. Back inside, intercept. Brilliant from Hastings to read that and also hold on. And now it flicks out. 1-on-1, is it? No, it's the knock-on by Canberra.
Well, Soliola's pulled it out of his hands, but that's been ruled to have gone forward.
Got to go forward. Yep.
What a gutsy play from Jackson Hastings.
Time off.
He misses that ball. Canberra score under the post, but saw it coming and Made a play at it. There's the Soliola one-on-one strip. Gee, I don't know if that went forward. The strip from Soliola. Blake Austin was taken on suspicion as he went through.
It's a highish shot, but more just a sling from Sirenin. No dramas there. But everyone back in Canberra, the nations, are going, how is that forward from Soliola?
Yeah, I don't think it was. I think it came out of...
It did look to be after the tackle had been completed.
And went towards the Raiders' try line. Yeah. That's not forward.
So 2 minutes to go. Manly, can they get through this set and find touch? And make it very difficult for Canberra.
Well, they don't need to be wasting time down here, Manly. They need to be playing the ball and trying to get Canberra on the back foot so they can get a good kick away. If they start to slow things down and waste some time, they'll be doing well to get a kick away.
Here's Uarte to give them some impetus. Important tackle made by Austin as Uarte put on the step. He's come up a little ginger. Now Trebojevic. Cherry Evans midfield. Blake Green down the blind side. Kicking options. They come to the 5/8. And he drives it low. Rapana was waiting. That'll do for Canberra. He kept it in and turned his body away to make sure there was no knock on. So a minute to go. Countdown is on. Can Canberra steal it? May Lewis scoops it up. Gets away from a couple. Winterstein came again. Rapana. Paulo. Big pass from a big man to Hodgson. Caesar. Croker. No Papali getting involved that time. Almost used as a decoy. Now a penalty. Do they go for goal from a tight angle 30 out?
Absolutely.
And try and send it to golden point in this contest for the second time in 5 weeks.
Well, 5-6 metres out from touch, 30, just on 30 out. Just pushed it a little too far, the Manly defenders. Cherry Evans was one of those out there. Aquila Uarte, Curtis Sirenin got involved.
And good on Jared Sutton.
Well, that's madness.
Well, so many of Canberra's tries, they come down this right edge, don't they? So Croker's had all this practice from wide right, but wide left, he's had 4 shots all season. He's kicked 2 of them. And normally, he'd be another 5 metres closer to take the shot. It's an angle you don't practice too often, I'd imagine.
Gaz, think you'll kick it? I'm gonna back him in.
I have to, because I got memories of when he missed the 2 opportunity in the to get to the semi-final.
Yep.
And he would have learnt from that.
He's a left footer, of course, so
it was on the
not
same
really his side. It's going to bend the other way. We saw one from right, didn't we? Come across the face from a similar angle.
From what you've just said, you're
backing him out. I'm backing him in.
So siren has sounded. The home fans letting Croker know what they think. To force golden point. Jared Croker strikes it low. We're going to golden point again. And what a comeback from Canberra. And what about the poise of that man? Jared Croker, leading point scorer in 2016. Nerves of steel.
And what about the irony? They're sledging Dylan Walker last time they met when he's going for the kick, although it was in golden point. You could see Daly Cherry Evans clapping their hands, trying to put Jared Croker off. Well, that was rock solid.
That's a great kick under pressure. That's a great kick from the captain. Not an easy one, as you said, and you, Speedy, told us just how hard it was going to be for a left footer.
Let's go down to Andy Raymond.
Our brief is very simple here at Fox League. We want to give you more each and every week. Let's get as close as it gets. We're heading to Golden Point between the Raiders and the Eagles for the second time this year. Momentum, advantage Canberra. Hometown atmosphere, advantage the Eagles. Let's look into the side. Who's doing the talking? It's Josh Hodgson, it's Sia Soliola, and it's Blake Austin. The rest, the big boys, they're sucking in the big ones. This has been an exhaustive performance down to 15 men. Just over to our right, Jared Croker and Daly Cherry Evans have completed the toss as we go down and take a look inside the Manly huddle. It is all DCE. DCE's talking tactics, he's talking inspiration, but it's going to be one of the big men. It's going to be one of the forwards that's going to say, fellas, it's time to rip in. One set of defensive tackles, that will win us the game. We are in for a beauty.
Well set up, Andy Raymond. Brilliant stuff in amongst it here at Lotto Land. And the Raiders, you'd think they're due this season. They're 0-2 in Golden Point. Lost to Manly, lost to the Cows.
Yeah, what a performance by them, though. 20-6 down at half-time. They've had to fight hard. It's been a scrappy performance from them, but they've hung in there. They've just kept chipping away. And I agree with Andy that they do have the momentum.
I agree totally. You know, they only had 38% of the football in the first half. You mentioned they had 15 men. They've had to come back from that. Daly Cherry Evans' kicking game, though, I think that is a big thing, and he's been spot on with it today.
Rapana, inspirational in the second half comeback. Will he have the final say? Remember that Golden Point win last year when he scored the miracle try?
Yeah, no one would be surprised to see that.
And this is curling. The bounce actually favoured Manly in the end, but it was looking pretty awkward off the boot of Austin. Would you prefer to have the ball first up in Golden Point?
Yeah,
or digging?
Yep. No, give me the ball.
Yep. So Manly won the toss and had that ability to power, throws it out the back, and Cherry Evans gets it on the bounce. And he's picked off by Austin. So they've chewed up 3 tackles, not yet outside the 30. Suspect looking past to Winterstein from Green. Touchy happy with it. Trebojevic. Can they get in field goal position here on the first set? Green. Don't forget Dylan Walker. He scored a backbreaker against the Roosters late, didn't he? Whiten across. And he comes back and gets them out to the 20. Good run back from the fullback.
Yeah, not a great chase from the Seagulls there. A couple of the smaller blokes left on their own, Jackson Hastings and Blake Green.
It was looking like a great run from Paulo, but he lost it.
But do they come any bigger? An error in Golden Point, bringing it out of your own end. I just don't think so. There was a hand in there from Aquila Ioane, but ball control, you've got to be accountable, and you've got to be better than that. You just can't afford to make an error like that on tackle 1.
So start heading for the posts, you'd imagine here, Manly. They've got options, don't they, on which tackle to go for it on. Cherry Evans to Winterstein. Can win it with a try. You're allowed to do that as well. You don't have to do it with just the 1 point. But now they work it back to the post to Powell. Into Tarpany, and Soliola keeps his feet. Cherry Evans right in front of the posts. They come to chase him and track him down, but Cherry Evans still got it away, and Manly, after being pegged back by the Raiders, they do take the 2 points. And what a performance from Daly Cherry Evans, who comes up big in the clutch after a wonderful kicking game this afternoon.
Well, Jared Croker was great under pressure to get it to Golden Point, but the Manly skipper delivers again. Cherry Evans, Golden Point field goal. He is the best.